Welcome all. It's me, Haxley here, and today I'm joined by Geoff Supreme. What are you Supreme of? You like the Sorcerer Supreme?
Just the Supreme.
Supreme. Okay.
I'm from the Supreme Universe.
And we're gonna be talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Bit late. We didn't have a show last week. We weren't doing too well as a team. At least me and I weren't. So we're doing it a week late. So I only just saw Doctor Strange last night. So really fresh in my head. When was the last time you saw it, Geoff?
I saw it the Thursday night that it dropped.
Thursday night that it dropped. Okay.
So I don't know when that was. What, the 10th? 3rd?
I don't think the 10th. No, the 10th would have been Sunday, I think, right?
So when did I watch? What? When did it come out?
Is that the 5th or 6th?
It's the 5th. I saw it on the 5th, yes.
Cinco de
So
Mayo.
11 days ago. As I remember, because I took a shot of tequila right before I watched the movie.
So maybe a bit hazy with that tequila and everything. I'm going to admit I did drink an old fashioned before the movie, so I don't know if that affected me or not. I guess going into it, not spoiler, and what our reviews are, Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness is a continuation of the MCU after the events of WandaVision and Spider-Man No Way Home. Doctor Strange has more stuff to do with the multiverse. All that stuff was not enough. And
Uh,
you have anything to say that doesn't spoil anything? Or you just want to give out your rating?
I'll just give out my rating at some point. It definitely felt like an older movie. Is what I was saying, and I don't mean like older, like adult. Like it just felt like an older styled comic book movie.
Okay. I can see that.
Maybe it's because of the music. They had Danny Elfman doing the music.
I didn't know who was doing the music.
It's like in the credits I saw it and I was like, oh wow, look, Danny Elfman. Wow, hey, that's exciting. But
We had Sam Raimi doing it, and who also did the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire.
yeah,
He came back and he gave it a very horror-like feel, almost kind of.
yeah, which was actually really interesting to see in a movie because you could tell. Well, because Sam Raimi wasn't initially on the project, right? They brought him in later, and he
Yeah,
redid some stuff. They had to do some reshoots, so you could see the very clear differences between what Sam Raimi did and what was initially being done with the movie, and maybe whatever Disney decided he needed to change because they did. I think they did mention that he had to change some stuff for them in the movie.
so I do admit I do like how they made it give a different feel because one of my biggest complaints is Marvel's very much the same movie to movie. This movie frightened me at times,
Yeah, I did get hit with a few scares.
but it did have its no nonsense humor, like a guy punching himself in the face multiple times.
Yeah,
I feel like I didn't need this at all. There's no reason to have this scene at all.
yeah, that was one of the scenes I was just like, whatever. But the horror element that they dove into the movie, I really really enjoyed. I kind of wish they leaned hell even more into it,
Yeah,
honestly.
I would love it if they distinguished their films a little bit more.
But this is definitely, I would like to think, as in terms of the movies, it's a better step, a more right step in the direction, just because it has a more unique feel. It's kind of like how Shang-Chi was. And, there was another movie that had that feel for me, or was there not? I don't know. I guess No Way Home, but it's kind of hard to say.
But yeah, I don't know. If anything, I like how they did something different. But also, I'm not a horror fan, so
I'm not a fan of horror, but luckily this one wasn't too much.
it wasn't too bad. It's not as bad as like other films,
Yeah.
but it does hurt in a bit because there's some moments where that's a bit much for me. Like the fight with Illuminati, that was very bloody.
I'm actually surprised about how many people were upset about how gory that was. And I was like, this doesn't feel that gory. There's blood, which is definitely jarring for like the majority of the MCU. But
Or
like,
the people burning alive, dying in the battle at the temple, Shangri-La. What was it? I don't remember.
or one of the strangers being,
A
skewered.
zombie.
That too. But again, like I said, it's not that gory to me. Maybe for a PG-13 rating, I don't know. But I think there have been gorier PG-13 movies.
There's definitely has been, yeah.
So it was like astonishing, some of the scenes. Some of them caught me off guard, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what they mean by adult movie. Uh, but hey, you were warned. He said it was going to be an adult movie, and everyone thought it meant sex. No, it was blood.
So we already got the sex. We got it in Eternals.
Exactly. We got sex in Eternals, so the next adult thing is blood.
We're getting full on people being burned alive, or ripped apart, or
Or
having their
rolling
like
eyeballs.
skulls collapse.
The eyeball, I think, is what got me.
I forgot about the eyeball thing, but yeah, what were we rating it? I like personally for me, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
I think either a high 6 out of 10 or a low 7 out of 10.
That's what I'm thinking. High 6, maybe almost 7, honestly, but I think 6 out of 10 is where it's at for me. Um, I've honestly, it was a fun movie, but I really don't. There was like no progression. I don't feel like Doctor Strange learned anything throughout this whole thing.
He didn't because it's just a mistake that a lot of newer stories are trying to do, but they keep using like these single characters to build up other characters, which is cool in a sense, but it kind of takes away from like that character's story. You know, like what did Doctor Strange learn today? He's not happy.
Yeah, he learned
That's
he's not a happy person.
that's what he learned, but he didn't
And I
really
thought
like
he was gonna
gain.
learn something because there was this ongoing message from Christine Palmer that Steven always has to be the one in charge with the scalpel.
Well, I guess he learned in letting Chavez do her thing, but
By using the witch book. I forget what it's called. The thing everyone was afraid he would do because that's what Doctor Strange does.
yeah. When we get into more spoiler territories, I have some complaints about that whole thing with the witch book. But so I guess you could say the lesson learned is there, but it's not. They also
There.
did have a very played out trope in there where it's like, oh, it's not that you don't know how to use it; you already know. You just have to believe. I'm sorry,
Believe.
it's so played out with younger characters. It's so played out. Like I was watching it and I was vomiting my mouth. I was like, "Oh my god, this trope really? You just gotta
And
believe."
I just want to mention there's this big controversy on Twitter about how America Chavez was portrayed because one popular comic book TikToker said if you replaced her with a houseplant, it wouldn't change anything about the movie. And I kind of agree. If you replace America Chavez with a portal gun, everything would be the same.
Yeah, literally, as far as I'm concerned, she's just a boom tube.
Like it would have been nice if Doctor Strange learned a lesson by with his by spending time with America Chavez and having her make him believe in her. But no, that never happened. Like they never really formed the connection for him to trust her.
Might be a little too late with spoiler warning because it's time to deep dive into
All
all
right.
this
It's,
nonsense. I can't
if you guys
not
haven't seen it, leave now. We're gonna start going into spoiler stuff.
because there are a few things I need to rip up. Yes, I think America's Chavez character in this movie was horrible. I won't lie to you. I really did not see a point of like half of the stuff she was doing in here.
It would have been nice if she was the one who taught Steven a lesson, but that was Christine Palmer saying it like 4 times throughout the movie.
Like you could argue a lesson was learned through her, and like him having her open a portal showing Wanda that she's scary.
But
So Wanda learned a lesson.
but the thing was like, when did Steven learn this lesson? Because he went from using the Darkhold, that's the name of the book, to trusting America Chavez with nothing really happening between for him to have such a change of character of doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, they didn't really have any like real bonding moments besides her seeing her family get sucked up. Which I'm sorry, I did laugh a little bit at that scene just because it was really just out of the blue
Yeah.
of her when she like first learned about her power. I was just like, oh, whoa, okay, okay. You got scared of a bee and you just like your parents. I'm sorry, it's not a funny thing, but it's just kind of funny how it like happened. Like that you were afraid to get stung by a bee, and then your parents got swooped away to another universe.
I also wonder if are they retconning America's origin with that? Because originally, comic wise, she came from an alternate dimension known as Utopia, and then went to the Marvel universe.
I'm pretty
But
sure they are changing stuff for it to fit them.
but right now in the comics, we find out that Utopia never existed. That's something her mind made up because she was like created in a lab and the two people she thought were her moms were like the lab assistants who like were the most hands-on with her, taking care of her as a baby with the like all the experimentation stuff.
Also, can someone explain to me what a nexus being is?
Uh a nexus being is, I think it's just something that can connect the multiverse together, right?
Oh, I think someone explained it. Right. Never mind. I rescind my statement. Because apparently the Scarlet Witch is a nexus being, but Wanda isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think how someone explained it to me.
So in the comics, the nexus being is any person or thing that has the power or capability to affect probability and the timeline. So like Scarlet Witch, reality warps. The Phoenix can do a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right. So that makes more sense because someone told me it was just like constant in the timeline, like they're always the same in every in there.
No, I don't think they're the same. I think I remember it being like they're like a big part of the universe, at least. Like the Phoenix Force, Scarlet Witch, I guess any other reality warper.
America Chavez.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for how important she was in the movie, she should have been introduced in something else, and then carried on into this movie. Because it was just kind of if like her origin stuff was kind of rushed. She didn't really get to like flesh out as a character.
I don't know. I think she could have been introduced here, and she could have done more. Like she could have done all the lessons teaching to Steven that Christine Palmer was doing. We could have just like we didn't need 838 Christine Palmer. We could have had Doctor Strange and America Chavez learn to trust each other and him believing in her. But no, we did not ever get any growth. We did not see them get like try to train and use her power. We just got Christine Palmer always mentioning he's the one who has to be in control. He has to have the scalpel. He will do whatever needs to be done to get what needs to be done, whether it be give the time stone to Thanos or use the Darkhold to defeat Thanos or defeat Wanda.
And yeah, honestly, like he did everything that they said he would do. He didn't really make any real change.
Yeah, he didn't make any progression. The only thing he didn't do was give up on America Chavez, and there's no reason why he didn't do that because I don't think we had a moment where he learned his lesson. He doesn't need to be in charge.
There was also a great moment that I don't think they really let flesh out a lot, and that's when he's conversating with the dude guy over there about deciding to give Thanos the time stone and saying like, "Oh, I had to make a choice," and then the guy's like, "Oh, well, I lost everybody." I think that's a lot of like, what do they call the event? The blip.
Yeah, the blimp.
The blip dialogue that we've kind of missed, even in like things like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just like those kind of interesting point of views, like how people dealt with like losing family members, and it was nice that they touched on it. It's kind of sad they didn't expand on it. It was more interesting. But as far as Strange's story goes, yeah, there wasn't like it seemed like the whole conflict with his character was supposed to be that
he didn't need to be in charge anymore. But like, I don't see where he learned this lesson.
I don't even know about him being in charge because like. It's not like he did the same thing he did in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't do it, so he left it to other people to figure out. It's the same thing. So like again, it doesn't even really feel like a learned lesson. He's like he's doing what they do in the MCU movie, and he's relearning the same lesson. But I'm not even going to get into that because it's kind of a loose argument at best. But like. His whole thing is him not worrying about consequences, I think.
Which he didn't, because spoiler warning for the future movies, we find out he started an incursion event that he has to go deal with.
Yeah.
Again, with like no other help.
Did he cause an incursion event, or was it's hard to say it's him.
He used the Darkhold to control the dead body of another Doctor Strange.
And Wanda used the Darkhold to control another Wanda.
Yeah, but the limit I mentioned is like incursions happen when universes interact too much. So I think there's going to be an incursion between Doctor Strange and the world that dead Doctor Strange is from. And I think 838 is going to have its own incursion event. Or maybe with our world. Maybe it's a 3-way incursion. I don't know.
Maybe this is how they lead into Secret Wars. But yeah, no, it was yeah, it's okay. They're like I actually like the horror aspects of this movie. I was caught
by some of the jump scares.
Yeah. Can I also mention another character who I feel like they let down, just like Doctor Strange and America Chavez?
Who?
That one random Minotaur we got.
Yeah.
First of all, why is there one random Minotaur and he only has one line? Why go through the effort of creating him in CG and you're not even gonna give him a name or use him?
Doesn't he have a name in the comics?
He probably does have a name in the comics, but we never got a name in the thing.
That's
like,
right.
It would have made more sense if we had like a bunch of people, Minotaurs, and a bunch of other like monsters or mythical creatures in the background. But it's just one Minotaur and an army of humans. At least, like, if you're gonna have the one, like, add other things to the army.
Oh, you know, there's a lot going on in the movie.
I was also confused, like, who's this Minotaur? And I don't think I missed anything where he could have come from. I would have wished we got a name. Like, he definitely has a name in the comics. I know people are excited to see him.
Yeah, he didn't really say much.
He said like one line, and he didn't do anything. You could have had more Minotaurs just spread out throughout the whole army, just so it seems like he's not special. But I'm stuck to believe he is special, but we never got more from him.
Yeah, it's hard. The Illuminati also wasn't as impressive as I thought they would be. You know, minus the one, Mr. Reed Richards. But they were the rationale of that universe just astounded me.
I mean, that's Illuminati. They're so high and mighty in their thought process.
Oh, it's not even like high and mighty. It just seemed naive. Like everything about their like logic was super naive. Yeah, our friend made a mistake, but he fixed it, showed you how to stop Thanos, helped you stop Thanos, and then y'all said, let's kill him because he's a danger to the multiverse.
I mean, he was corrupted with the Darkhold, which is what happened to the other Doctor Strange in the world that had the incursion happening.
And then their rationale after that is that all Doctor Stranges are evil. And then Mordo's whole squad is getting decimated. And he's like, nah, you're the bigger threat. I'll execute you. I'm like, what?
I just love we get Reed Richards explaining what Black Bolt can do. It's like we're watching an anime fight where they're doing a power up or they have to explain how their power works. And he's just expecting Wanda to just sit there and wait and take the hit and hit them back afterwards. But no, Wanda went all Android 17 and just attacked first before the attack came.
I know it was very unsettling for a lot of people, but I love Wanda's kill cams. I was here for it. Let her get her licks.
A lot of people were just upset that Reed Richards, the smartest man in the world, explained what Black Bolt could do. But I understand. They are heroes. They don't want to kill her. Especially since she's like night walking or day walking, whatever it's called. Dream walking. So that body did nothing wrong.
I also did laugh out loud when Dream Walking Wanda like left that Earth's Wanda. And then, like, she just wakes up. She's like, oh, my boys. I don't know why, but that scene just came off really funny to me.
It was a bit funny how she like just wakes up, gets worried about the boys, and flies out of there.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh. Another scene that actually also made me laugh, which is kind of.
I want to talk about more of the Illuminati stuff real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
With Wanda just getting rid of Black Bolt's mouth. And I don't know how Black Bolt works. Does he have like invulnerable skin? Is there a reason? It just echoed around, like collapsing his skull. Why couldn't it just like keep blasting forward and just destroy where his mouth was?
I think that might have been too gory for them.
That could have been. I was like, he's destroyed planets with his voice. Is his body that tough?
Like, I think it really is just that might have been too gory for the PG-13 rating.
I was like, no. We're gonna make his body invulnerable, aside from the insides. It's like Luke Cage. His power works like Luke Cage, where if you feed him a bunch of bombs like Deadpool did, and Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, you can destroy Luke Cage.
He is a Inhuman, so I don't know much about the Inhumans, so I can't say much. But it was cool to see him.
Yeah.
I was still disappointed that we didn't get Superior Iron Man.
You wanted a Superior Iron Man there?
Yeah, why not? It feels more right. Like, it felt like a good thing to do. It would have been a nice moment.
Yeah, it could have been nice. But we did get Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski, who has been like a fan favorite to play that role for a while. And he turned into a plate of spaghettis, just like Dorflame said.
Yeah, it was kind of sad how he went out.
Mr. Spaghetti Richards.
Honestly, I don't think anyone went out the way I had hoped.
Who was the next one out? Was it Peggy?
So it was Black Bolt, Reed Richard, Peggy.
Peggy was next, saying she could go, she can do this all day, and she couldn't.
She couldn't.
I don't know what she thought she could do against Magic, but I also don't know what Chris Evans, Captain America, ever thinks he could do against stuff, and it works out for him.
I don't know. My friend said Chris Evans would have caught the shield. Steve would have caught it.
I think the momentum's the problem. I don't think you want to catch that at that momentum.
I don't know. That's just what my friend told me. I thought that was funny. And then I think Photon was the last to go out. I didn't like how she went out.
So I think Scarlet Witch like absorbed her powers.
Did she absorb her powers?
It looked like she was absorbing it because like her suit was disappearing and everything.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that he just dropped the statue on her, and
I think
she wasn't ready.
Like, I don't know if she got rid of her powers or absorbed it or whatever, but like her power was fading and like her visor and suit were disappearing off her body, like they were turning to light.
If she absorbed it, it makes way more sense to me, and I'll accept it. If she didn't, and it flabbergasted me that she got beat by a statue. So hopefully you're right. She absorbed it, and I may have just missed the detail.
Maybe
it's possible.
We also had after that Charles Xavier with the role being taken by Sir Ian McKellen. No, that's a Magneto. Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier,
which was interesting to say the least, because I think in the House of M, he's the one who, for the most part, keeps Wanda's mind at bay. So I know one of my friends was kind of disappointed that he kind of went out pretty quickly as well.
You know what else happened? He had like the music and the yellow wheelchair. I think he was the X-Men 90s cartoon Charles Xavier, and
I think that's what a lot of people were saying.
And those X-Men have a reboot. I don't think it's a reboot. I think it's a continuation coming up on Disney Plus.
Guess he's dead.
He's dead. The X-Men are gonna go hunting down a Wanda. I guess that's what's gonna happen in this X-Men show.
But it was cool to see Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Do you want to see these people return, like Doorflame here suggesting? Do we want to see John Krasinski return as Mr. Fantastic? Would we like to see the return of Charles Xavier, or who else would we want to see return? Is it Black Bolt? Maybe. Do we want Inhumans?
I want an Inhumans show.
We already have an Inhumans show, though.
That's good. That's good. Specifically good.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know if it's good or not. I've honestly never cared about the Inhumans ever before in the comics.
I'm curious, but I mean, I don't know. Everything I want disappoints me. So, like, what can I say? Eternals disappointed me. Carnage disappointed me. This movie kind of disappointed me, but not too much.
All right, now we can move on. So after that, we had Christine Palmer, Doctor Strange, and America Chavez running away from Wanda,
which I thought was great. Nice little hero-esque. Yeah. It did piss me off that they did the horror tropes where like they shut the door and for some reason they stop running and they turn around.
No, just keep going. Why are we waiting for anything?
It's like, why is now the time you want to wait? It's just kind of out the blue. I was like, okay, so they really went full blown horror mode with this and making characters just make idiot decisions halfway through the chase scene. I got you.
Go get this book. That's what you wanted.
That's all you have to do. She's not there, so just keep running. And when she appears, you'll know.
But no, they waited it out. She did a jump scare to America Chavez. She was frightened. And they continued running. A bit too late.
Just a bit. Just a tad.
And yeah, I guess they fight her. And America Chavez accidentally uses her powers and they escape into separate worlds. No. Scarlet Witch captured America Chavez.
Yeah, I think that's when Wanda actually gets her.
And she threw them, Doctor Strange and Christine Palmer, in another world that's dying in a creation event.
To the evil Strange.
To the evil Strange, who's been using the Darkhold a bit too much. And this is probably like the worst fight I've ever seen in a movie. I hated this fight so much.
Because it wasn't really a fight. They were playing music.
They were playing music. And I feel like they could have done more. They could have made it sound cooler, look cooler. I guess it looked fine, but like sounding wise, it was just a cacophony of noise. I did not like that fight.
So you didn't. What you're saying is you didn't like the metal music.
Yeah.
Sure. Fair enough.
How did you feel about the fight?
I didn't care. I wasn't a fan of the metal music. I'm just not a metal fan. So, and it also just kind of felt out of place for some reason. I don't know why. Just it felt out of place. Like in Dragon Ball Z, right? It feels in place. And this, it just felt, a little misplaced. I don't know. I don't know what music would have fit, but I don't think it was that. It did look cool. I can't remember if I thought it ended anticlimactic or not. I just remember it ends with Evil Strange getting skewered.
I don't remember
Which
how it
was
ended.
unexpected for me.
But yeah, over on the other side, we have Wong being captured by Wanda, and he takes her to the temple that the Darkhold was made.
Which is where the jump scare that got me happened. That
Was-
first turnaround where like the demon's face was like right there, that got me.
I got you.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay,
Oh
unexpected.
no, I didn't think that was too scary. Not as bad as like when Wanda was in the mirror dimension and just like pops out all like bloody and scarred.
It wasn't like I found it creepy. It's more like, it's surprising. It's jump scares. Are jump scares scary or are they surprising?
But yeah, they do a whole thing. They're getting ready to steal America Chavez's power. Doctor Strange now has the Darkhold in the other incursion worlds. And here we get Doctor Strange doing the thing he should not be doing and thinking he knows best and using the Darkhold after everyone warned him not to use the Darkhold.
Though, to be fair, I think at that point, that's like the only method they had left, right?
Yeah, I don't think they had any other choice.
Because she destroyed the Book of Good. Scarlet Witch did.
I think so.
Yeah.
But still, it still just seemed like a waste of character progression to have him not learn anything.
Can't be a waste of progression if there wasn't any, actually.
Yes, true. There's no character progression for him, America Chavez.
Yeah, no one really grew, honestly. Except for maybe Wanda. Wanda got all the character development in this movie.
But this is character development she almost had in like WandaVision. So it was almost a regression to progress.
We should have just called this the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, maybe. She's the one who got character arc development. She learned her lesson.
Because honestly, I think out of every character in this movie, Wanda was probably the most well done.
Probably, yeah. Doctor Strange uses what's the book called? Why am I blanking on it again? We've said it like so many times.
It's leaving me. The Darkhold.
Darkhold to, you said Dreamwalk? That's what it's called?
Yeah, Dreamwalk.
Dreamwalk using the dead Doctor Strange's body, which looked terrifying, and then he had all those wraiths as like a cloak.
Yeah.
And then Wong's just going with it. It was like, I don't need to ask. Let's just do this, Doctor Strange. You break the rules all the time anyway. Because you haven't changed at all during this whole adventure.
Gotta break the rules.
They fight Wanda, and Doctor Strange, not Doctor Strange, Dr. Wong, not Dr. Wong, just Wong tells Doctor Strange, like, they have to steal America Chavez and kill her. They can't let Wanda get her power. And then we get that cliche moment. It's like, you could do this all along, America Chavez. You never needed training or anything. You got this. You can defeat Wanda. And she breaks Wanda down mentally by sending her to Earth 838 with that Wanda and her children. Those annoying children who sing that terrible ice cream song.
Which, honestly, I think that was a nice way to end that.
I think it was good. It's a good way to stop her, make her learn her lessons. Like, she's scaring the children. She can't just steal another person's child. Like, she's just planning on killing their mother and taking over.
Yeah. So it was interesting that was definitely the best way to end that. I just don't think. I think just the corniness that trope kind of ruined it for me.
I agree.
Because again, that trope is super overused.
She could have done this all the entire time. She had it in her.
And it's not like we saw her attempt to learn how to use her power.
Yeah.
They just told us that she
this.
tried to use her power.
And yeah, neither Doctor Strange or America learn anything. There go no character progression, and I think that's the main flaw of this whole movie.
Honestly, I think they should just give out America Chavez her own show. For what I've heard, she's actually an extremely well-written comic book character. I don't know, I've never read her in any comic books, but I've heard nothing but good things about her comic.
I have never read anything she's in, so I'm not too familiar with her comic-wise.
But
I read a few from the books I've read from Marvel. She's never been in any of them. But people were excited to see her, and people are excited to get some representation, and some people are hurt that some people are saying she was just a MacGuffin. She could have been replaced by like a portal gun or a houseplant that can teleport.
Honestly, no.
Which I think she could have. I think the criticism's well deserved. Like, we can't just be happy with just representation, because it has to be done well, and this was not done well. This was just a character to be there for no other reason but to have her.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, if you like you said specifically like a time warping portal gun, and it's just Doctor Strange holding on to it, running away with Christine the whole time, everyone trying to get it back, and he's explaining the importance to it, and then Wanda stealing it, or like some kind of magic warping spell or object that activates, or like if you just did that, the story would still be the same.
Yeah. It should have been America Chavez teaching Doctor Strange a lesson to trust her, but they never learned anything together. I don't know if they learned something and it was cut from the movie and put on the cutting room floor, but that's something between them had to have happened for us to think Doctor Strange can trust her, or that she's gotten some training out of this.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even do the thing where like she saves him or something. Like it's just like, I trust you.
I think that's all I got for this movie.
Yeah, but like I said, it was an okay movie. It felt old, and not in a bad way, just like old style in terms of comic book movies.
Yeah, it just had that style to it.
Camera work, music, certain antics. Again, I just wish America Chavez had more of a character in this. Very happy with how Wanda was done, even if it completely ignores WandaVision. I don't care. I didn't like WandaVision that much anyways.
I think WandaVision was my favorite of all the TV shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It might be Falcon. It's either WandaVision or Falcon. I think both of them are up there for me.
But, like, if I ignore WandaVision, her character is done 100 fucking phenomenally.
And there's another thing. I'm okay with them ignoring WandaVision because I don't like the idea that you have to watch everything to understand what's going on. And especially if it's something that can only be on a streaming service. That's just like a way to make a lot of money, honestly. And I don't like that. Like, you can make the movies connect, but it gets a little iffy if you start connecting to TV shows too much.
And I think that's what they said why they ignored some of the details of the shows in the movie was because they expected not everyone to be caught up on all the Marvel TV shows, which is fair.
Because I don't think Disney Plus is in every country yet. I think it's just like America and maybe Canada.
Yeah. And like you said, making people have to pay for streaming to watch a TV show to be able to watch movies on the big screen, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, anything else we got to say, or are we done moving on and ready to move on to Young Justice?
My second funny scene in this movie is when Wong gets thrown off the side of the of the Darkhold cliff. That's all I wanted to say.
That's a funny scene for you?
Because he's just like, like he like flings up and it just barely tinks off. I don't know. It just came off funny to me.
Oh, the fact that he tried grappling, hooking back, but it failed?
Yeah, it just looked funny to me. So I was just like, ha, wow. I actually laughed in the theater. I was like, huh.
So your funny moments are America Chavez losing her parents and Wong almost dying to his death.
I know. I'm a terrible person. What can I say? But they were funny. They were funny.